But then what was cool about Florida was just that it was very like it was open. Like I was allowed.
I
to
feel
be
like
the
there's
dirty guy.
a pretty like vast array of people there in that scene.
Especially
like,
in
everyone's
Gainesville.
different.
Oh yeah, especially Gainesville. Gainesville was one of the most diverse parts of Florida just because of the college.
Diverse is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot of words, but I thought I knew that one.
Yeah.
But it was diverse, and there was a lot of different kind of comedians, and they were kind of okay with me being that douchebag. And there were other people who tried to be the dirty guy. Like I've seen some clunkers in Florida, some clunkers in Florida that make the clunkers up here look like
got anything you remember?
Geniuses.
Any stories? Anything you would remember?
Yes.
Give us a story, please.
This guy wasn't even from Gainesville. I don't know where he came from, but it was like this black comedian. And I say he's black because he was like, the only reason I mention that is because he was trying to ride on like the fact that like I'm black so I can get away with
it. He was like pandering, if you will, a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. But he was trying to be the conservative black guy.
Okay.
And like, but he didn't have a single joke. Like here's the joke I remember. Like he gets up there, he's offending everybody with everything he says, and then he says this one joke that I'll never forget. He raises up his hand. He goes, "So who here likes rape?"
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he's just standing there with his hand up, and the crowd of terrified college students just like staring at. And he's like, "Who here likes rape?" And nobody obviously raises their hands. Because like, why would you raise your hand when somebody asked you that? And then he goes, "Well, who here likes socialism?" And of course, like a couple of like people in the crowd, like, you know, raise their hands because it's college.
Yeah,
but then he's like, "Okay, well, if you like socialism, that's rape." And that was the joke. And
that's not a joke, though.
Dude, I almost spit my beer out from laughing. I was laughing so fucking hard in the back, like by myself. I was like silent. It's like you ever silently dying, like you don't want people to know you're laughing.
I would have done the same thing.
I was like heaving.
To hear that in the moment, and me to be like, what the fuck did he say?
It was like, just like, because if I said that, I probably would have gotten kicked out.
Oh,
That's why I mentioned that he was black, because the only reason he got away with it is because he was black. If it was me, I probably wouldn't be allowed back there.
No, you'd be on the list somewhere.
Yeah.
Seth Simons would be writing a fucking piece on you right now or some shit.
Right, yeah. So there was some crazy ass people in Florida. And obviously there was like a bunch of like Southern frat dudes who would just think they could get up there and talk about pussy and bitches, and they were just boring. But there were some good ones.
We eat that pussy, I'll tell you what.
Right, yeah. Like there were some good comedians down there too, and it was a good way for me to try doing it and be terrible.
Very different crowd.
Yeah, very different. It was a good way to be terrible without getting judged, because I could just be terrible for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part.
Yeah, because when you first start out and you're terrible, like, you know, everyone starts out and they're pretty much terrible. You have to learn how to I think
you don't realize you're terrible until you fucking, it's almost too late. Because those first 3 months, you're like, and you're in it and you're doing shows. Yeah. I know I was like, dude, I got this joke thing figured out.
Right. Like, dude, I might be a comedy genius.
Yeah, dude, you're sitting there being like, don't worry, I'll take you with you. You go to your other friends, like, no, I'm gonna take you with you. And I'm like, a couple of years, like 2 years from now, when I'm fucking
Dude, I'm gonna move to the city. You'll see. I'm gonna be.
And then
on
that one
Letterman,
show happens. That one fucking show happens, and it just like. And you just go outside of the club. Like, no one laughs.
Yeah, your first
you
real
walk
bomb.
outside, and it's usually a club.
Yeah, dude, your first really bad bomb is an awakening experience that every comic needs.
Yeah.
Every comic needs their first real bomb. And I didn't really start bombing. Like, of course I bombed in Florida, but I didn't realize I was bombing because it was more supportive.
Yeah.
When I got to New York and I really started bombing, that's when I was like, oh, shit, nah, this takes work. Like, I'm going to have to try to get good at this. Like, I can't just like be a crazy fuck and expect people to vibe on that.
That was the same fucking realization I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I went
to
like.
It was bad. You know, at the beginning, it was very discouraging. You know?
Yeah, it was extremely. I remember I don't have a girlfriend, but I remember I was just calling. I called an ex girl. I was sad outside a Broadway comedy club.
And you just needed to talk to someone.
You know, we've all done it.
Yeah.
And I just called her, and I was just like, she's like, hello, and I'm like, I don't think I should do this anymore. And she goes, what the fuck? Like,
she's like, what are you talking about?
I remember being like that. Like, do you have a moment like that where you walked out of something and you were just like, I guess I'll do carpentry now.
Yeah, dude. You know what the worst moment for me was? It was like the second time I did the Long Island laugh off. The first time I did the Long Island laugh off.
The laugh off was a thing for me too.
The first time I did it was actually fun. It was like in the beginning, and that was when they would still do it in like the big room at Levittown.
Yeah.
And like it was awesome. Like I had a big crowd. Everything I did was working, even though I didn't advance. Like, you know, because I went overtime.
Because you felt like you're like, whatever, they laughed. You know, you walk out with that.
Yeah, I didn't care that I didn't advance, and I didn't really expect to advance, and I did well enough, and my friends were there, and they were
Were
like,
you
that
like
was
2
cool.
years in at that
I
point?
was probably, well, counting Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
But like really, as far as like New York, I was just starting, and it was cool.
So it was probably an ego boost a little bit for you too.
A little bit,
Yeah.
definitely, because it felt like, wow, like what if I tried to get into that club and maybe get on those shows more and stuff?
Yeah,
you
like
know?
what if this starts to really work for
Right.
me? Yeah.
So then the next year, it was at the brokerage, and like I didn't have any people to bring, but I really just wanted to go up. Like I
do
knew
the
I would
set.
advance. Yeah, I wanted to go up. I wanted to get a set.
Good mentality. I like that mentality, yeah.
I even wanted to film it. Get a nice tape. Whatever.
Because full crowd, why not take advantage?
Right, yeah. So I'm driving there, and I'm all right. Not only am I bringing no people, I'm gonna be late, and it's fucking Ziegler running the show.
Oh,
so
Ziegler?
and I
Okay.
know Zach Zorovich and Mike Nicole are there. So I text Zach, and I'm just like, hey, could you guys like just ask Ziegler if it's okay if I go up? Like I'm not bringing anybody. Like I'm gonna be a bit late, but just vouch for me. And they, like I'm on my way. Like I did sign up through the email. I was like I'm on
So
my
I'm
way. I'll
signed
be
up,
there.
okay.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, yeah, we'll let him know. And he almost wasn't gonna throw me up, but they vouched for me, and I thanked them for that. They're homies for that. And when I got there, I was like one of the last people, and it was a big crowd, and they were a good crowd, and people were doing well, and I thought I was gonna do really well, and I just went up and I ate dick after dick after dick. I just ate dicks the whole time.
How much time was it? 5 minutes,
It was,
right?
yeah, it was only like 5 minutes.
But in eternity.
It felt like an hour. Dude, every single thing I said got no laughs. But it's not even like people weren't paying attention. People were looking right at me like, what
Confused.
are you doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like, who are you? Why
Because
are you
you
here?
think-
Like,
Sometimes, and this will happen, and I've seen this happen to people that like aren't really funny, but when you get in that pocket of like a guy that does really well right before them,
Yeah.
and then like it's a pretty good show, so the crowd's just really rolling.
Yeah.
So like somebody that isn't really, but it doesn't matter. They say the college thing, you can say anything.
Yeah.
But sometimes that has the reverse effect. I
Yeah,
think too,
It does. You try to say anything, but then like the crowd wasn't down for
because
anything.
you're not as
know?
good as the last guy.
Yeah, and they notice how much worse you are.
Yeah.
And
Hey everybody, it's me, Joe Winchell, the Millennial Stoner. If you liked that clip, you should check out the full episode by clicking on the link right here, where Chris is going to put it, right here, okay? Click on the link, watch the full episode. And if you watch the full episode, I'm also going to need you to like it, share it, and subscribe to that page so you can get all your Millennial Stoner needs. I'll be deeply humbled, like Johnny Depp, deeply humbled by your support. Click it.